on this beautiful Friday. Oh, Vicky, you're wearing a Denver Bronco
Go
sweater.
Broncos.
Man, it's so cool. I always liked it when you wore.
Don't tell Jordan that I'm wearing his
I
sweater.
wouldn't say it's men's clothing, but more. What's the word
You
I'm
liked it
looking
when I
for?
wore your clothing.
Is that tomboy? Is that a rude thing
I
to
don't
say?
know.
I think it's cool though. I think it's cool. Why are you up so early? Why is your hair all done? What's
My
happening?
hair's not done.
I feel like
This is au
you
naturel.
showered and you're ready for the day.
I'm ready to go.
Why?
We're early because my little friend is having an outdoor birthday party, just the family and us, and outside, and they're getting a bouncy castle.
And who do you think is more excited? Or Auntie
Vicky.
It is exciting to have children in our lives again that we are not responsible for maintaining their life, really. Like we don't have that responsibility of adhering to all of their needs. We just get to do a lot of the fun stuff. So
And buy them tutu dresses.
And buy them tutu dresses. You bought a tutu dress? Are you going to play in the bouncy castle? Is there an age or a weight restriction?
Yeah, it's very
Not that
high.
you would hit the weight restriction,
Thank you.
but you might
Thank you.
hit that age
Thank you.
restriction. I was just wondering for myself, when I go over, can I do some bouncing?
Yeah.
Could we make it like, remember at camp, they had the blob in the water and one person sat here and two people jumped there and that person?
The problem is
That's where I would go with the bouncy castle.
that would be very fun, except you have a hard time gauging the limit of like what this child could withstand and at what point the child could get injured.
So you would be saying that I've been known to push the limits?
Yeah.
On lots of things. Yeah, I think that's good practice. I think it's a spiritual practice. You got to push the limits.
Ask God about that.
God, I will.
Do you enjoy it when John pushes the limits?
Gives him a challenge. It is June the 4th. We are going to get into our morning devotionals early because there's a party ahead. Happy Friday. And we are going, it's the 4th. So Vicky, you're going to lead us in. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing on this great Friday?
Letting go of our old selves.
Letting go of our old selves. Dust our old selves off. Okay.
Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we have omitted anything, for we are building an arch through which we shall walk a free man at last. Are we now ready to let God remove from us all the things which we have admitted are objectionable? That's from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. The 6th step is the last preparation step. Although I have already used prayer extensively, I have made no formal request of my higher power in this first 6 steps. I have identified my problems, come to believe that there is a solution, made a decision to seek this solution, and have cleaned house. I now ask, am I willing to live a life of sobriety, of change, to let go of my old self? I must determine if I am truly ready to change. I review what I have done and become willing for God to remove all my defects of character. For in the next step, I will tell my Creator that I am willing and will ask for help. If I've been through the preparation of my foundation and feel that I am willing to change, I am then ready to continue with the next step. If we still cling to something we will not let go, we ask God to help us be willing.
I think, truly and honestly, the process of recovery starts, I think, easy. We ease our way in. It's not like taking a cannonball. And this is my experience. When we get to this part, this would have been my hardest part of letting go of. And I like how they use the construction terms. Works for me. Maybe bouncy castles and popsicles for you. But like the construction part where we're actually going through a new archway means that I have to leave something. And so the word abandon is the word that comes up a lot, not surrender. Surrender is eliminating options. Abandon is actually leaving the constraints of where I was living my life, the life that I made or alcohol made or my past made. And I'm actually leaving that, going through an archway into a new life. And so for me, abandoning everything that my life had built was really hard for me, because just little things like that I would exclude God from, like work. Like I know how to work. I have a trade. I have this. I can do that. I have a house and a car and a wife and a kid, and I don't need God involved in that stuff. I just need him to continue taking the desire to drink away. But until like there was a year of holding on to clinging, I guess. But until I abandoned that, then I found not just sobriety, but freedom from my old.
So, yeah, because I was thinking that too as we were reading. Like, it's actually not super hard sometimes, and for lots of people to quit drinking for a while, or to say like, yeah, I'm just not going to drink anymore, and maybe they can do it for, there's a lot of people who can do it for like
6 months,
a long, like a long enough period of time to think like, oh, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And then same for me, like we cannot have like an argument, or like I can feel in control of my emotions and my reactions for like a pretty long period of time and think like, oh, this isn't so bad. Like, oh, I'm not really that bad. I don't need to do something like super extensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where like the first, I start to see my inability to actually manage my life on my own in all areas.
Yeah, I think there's two parts to this where there's a rebuilding and resistance. Wherever I see resistance, that means usually my will is getting in the way. But this is like the abandonment, like running a rehab center for 8 years and being involved in early recovery. There's so many guys that just want to get our lives back on track. And I was one of those guys. I just want to get my life back on track. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, look after the kids really well. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to get into all the things that, and just not drink. Like, obviously I'm not going to get into the, the drug dealing and the this and the that. And like, that's bad stuff. I'm just going to focus on business and growing a empire. And until I was fully able to let that go, because there was a lot of worth for me, because a man in our culture is really a man in the culture that I came from was, this is what you're worth per hour. And so if I'm still holding on to that, then how do I let God give me a new life? If I'm still holding on to the old life. So it's not about like self-destruction. It's about abandonment of all the things and the perceptions that created who I am. So I guess that's a good place to leave. Do you have anything else to say? Nothing else to say? This is a journey of the abandonment of the old self. And so that can be very hard and very daunting task, and I think you could let your dog. And I think that's where it goes from the head to the heart of actually being able to release and abandon my old self and let God build this new house. And so if this is the house of God, let him build it. So we just leave you with that. Have a great Friday. Sing happy birthday to somebody, and drink some kombucha, wash your hands, keep the peace and be of good behavior. And we will see you Sunday. All right. Take care.